Test. Pop out chat. So, let me know, by the way, before I get started, how this microphone is working. I forget exactly where I got this one from. I believe this microphone at this point may be hitting 11 or 12 years old. It was broken, and I remember fixing it, getting really busy with work, and not confirming that I fixed it. So I don't know if this actually works or if this has this random low-pass filter that shows up around 2 or 4 kilohertz. So let me know if this actually works, is suitable, and sounds good. Because I remember retiring this mic because I was supposed to fix it, and I forget if I actually got around to it. And it would be a shame if I'm talking into the middle of nowhere right now. This is a AT4050 or 4047, something like that. It's pretty cool. It's one of those mics that's, I think it's a ripoff of the AKG 414, so you wind up paying half the price for something that's pretty much exactly as good. So today, I suppose before I get started with people's questions, the joy of contractors. So I've been going over dealing with several different contractors for the new place. I'm probably only going to do the floor. All the stuff that I had written in that thing, I'm not going to do because of budget, but floor is something that is important. So there was one contractor that had said, $3,000 to $5,000 for the floor, and I said that you've got to be absolutely kidding me. That's just not possible. It has to be more. I'm not going to be mad at you if it's more. I expect it to be more. So politely take your time and get back to me when you have a real price. And he goes, yeah, I'm so sorry. I screwed up. Here's the actual price. So there were two different quotes he gave me, one for $17,200 and one for $19,000. And I said, yeah, just to do the $19K one. How long would it take you? Let's get started. That was Saturday, November 23rd. Not a single text back. There was another guy, because there was a flooring store at 145 West 27th Street, which is really cool. It's literally right next door to where I am. And that flooring place, there's a flooring place, and I walked in and I said, surely you would know who does floors well. I don't know if you do it, but if you don't, we would like to have the floor leveled. We're one store down over here. We'd like to pay the money to get it done the next week or two. Who do you recommend? And he gave me a recommendation of somebody. Paul and I reached out to him, told him everything we wanted to do for 20 minutes on the phone. He said, sure, send me an email with a floor plan. We send them an email with a floor plan, and we tell them exactly what we want to have done, exactly Paul was using the proper construction terminology, because I would just send him a YouTube link to the Rick and Morty True Level and have him do that. And the guy says, okay, yeah, so just let me know when you guys know what it is you want to do, and we'll go from there. And I said, well, we know exactly what we want to do. What we want to do is level the store floor with concrete. We're expecting to pay for demolition, materials, labor, and, do you want money? This is the thing that drives me nuts. Because why not? Thank you for the $6.66, you evil person with the devil worshipping number. But this is what kills me, is that if I lowballed you and you were ignoring me, that makes sense. If I say, hey, can you level the floor? Absolutely we can. How much does it cost? And I go, okay, what does it cost? It'll be $19,000. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll pay you in cash. When can you show up? Crickets! I don't get it. How do these people make money? Are most contractors just fronts for money laundering and drugs or what? I don't get it. I don't effing get it. Would you go back to supporting Apple if they changed their policies and supported right to repair in a genuine way? I wouldn't go back to supporting Apple because I don't think I ever supported Apple to begin with. I don't really use their products. I am actually considering switching and using a Hackintosh setup in the office because I tried Vegas 17 and it crashes as much as 16. It's like every time a new version of Vegas comes out, I think I'm going to pay for this update and it's going to stop crashing. And every time I pay for a new version of Vegas, the exact same bug that was present in the old one is there. I've been falling for this since either version 12 or 13. But I actually was going to give it an honest shot, Hackintosh my office, pay for Final Cut Pro, and see what it's like to actually be a Mac user for a few weeks. That's something that once there's a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD that's being RMA'd to Samsung. Once I get that back, I'd like to actually set up my office that way, or have HiHi do it, because I don't have the time to read through all that shit. I don't have the time to figure out all the hacky ways to Kext and all that to make it work, but I was going to make HiHi do that. But yeah, if Apple actually did support their customers in a decent way and supported the repair industry, I'd have no problem giving them props for it. I really don't. When Apple took an effort with user privacy with their new sign-in features, I made a video saying that Apple should be commended for this. When they do something right, I'm more than happy to say they did something good. I really am. I just like to see them actually do it, you know? It's not like I make money shorting Apple stock or something. Get the floor epoxied. It's cheaper and better, says John Rambo. You need to find a contractor for that, by the way. Also, sorry for the stream being late. There was a mouse issue in my office. We had to find a mouse, and the mouse was pooping quite a bit. So I spent 7 hours today on Thanksgiving. IDKYM sub to you what you post. You can click on my channel to see what I post. So I spent 7 hours bleaching, scrubbing the floors, scrubbing everything that the mouse even went on, so it's not even containers or floors. Anything that was in my cabinet, I cleaned it with disinfectant wipes or bleach. Thank you, Trojan War, for the $5. So that took about 7 hours. Paul and HiHi are going to be finishing that up tomorrow. When HiHi comes in, he's going to be helping Paul demouse his desk and clean everything, and also sort everything. Now's a good time to do it as ever, because with the whole moving thing, I'm gonna have to throw away a lot of stuff that I don't need because I don't want to move a bunch of crap. So I should start now. What phone do you use? I use an LG G8 because this thing cost about $300 on eBay, and that's pretty much it. I wanted something that was good for if I was doing GoPro videos. And this is for that. This is good for doing videos on my bike because it has the same optical image stabilization as a GoPro, but without all the crashing of a GoPro. I figured out how to put your bike LED without a mount like you did. Awesome, Kopaz. And thank you all very much for the help today. Kopaz helped me clean for 7 hours. He's a good dude. Paul said, looking at getting a quick 861-bit quick soldering iron, would you buy it? I've never tried their soldering irons. I tried the hot air, but I haven't tried their soldering irons. Mainly because I already had a HAKKO, and the HAKKO was very cheap, and it did everything I needed it to do, so I never found this need. Like when it comes to the HAKKO hot air station is $850. So there's a genuine reason there to look elsewhere, because not only is it $850, but the interface is shit. With Quick, I mean with the HAKKO 951, the interface, it's not the best, but I never changed the temperature on it, so it doesn't matter, and it's cheap enough that I didn't care. Maybe try the 16-inch MacBook Pro. They fixed a lot of issues. I can Hackintosh the computer I already have, but I'm on a budget at the moment with the move, so I don't want to spend $2,000 or $3,000 for a MacBook. I have no reason to have a MacBook. I don't need a new laptop. Yeah, I don't really need a new laptop, so spending $2,000 or $3,000 in that right now would be silly. Are you ever disappointed in humanity with the insight you have into a company like Apple and their practices? It doesn't seem like it's getting better. No, not really. There are many other reasons to be disappointed in humanity. And I always try to hope the best of it. Let's see. How about you fix the floor yourself, repairman? I don't think anybody would trust working on it. I think my staff would work on the sidewalk if I was the one that worked on the floor. I have no idea how to do that. The JF, I believe the reason for that JF 1 through 7 is that I have not created nearly as much value as I thought I did, and such is life. I'm happy for the value I created and the value that people thought I created that was worth it. But is what it is. Let's see. What's your opinion on college? Go to college if you are doing something that absolutely positively necessitates it. But if you're able to learn enough that you could create a portfolio of work showing that you're good at what you do without going to college for a specific job, then go for it. A lot of people say that the cost of it, They talk about the cost of college and the cost of education. The cost of education has come down tremendously over the past 10 years. Absolutely tremendously over the past 10 years. It's just not college. And the reality of it is that the best jobs anyway are the jobs where people that are hiring are doing stuff like what Dale Doughton said in The Gifted Boss. Once you have an employer that is saying you need to have this many years of college and this experience and this, that, and the other, they're just going through the human resources mill, and they don't want to do that anyway. They want to hire somebody that they know that can demonstrate that they're good at what they do. And that doesn't necessarily require college. God, the closet was disgusting, says Copaz. Yes, it was. Hello, the Dijon. Can Hackintosh use Apple App Store? I have no idea because I don't know how to use a Mac. You recommended Start With No by Jim Camp. What other books would you recommend? I would recommend the 10 Mistakes That Small Businesses Make by Roger Mendelsohn. I don't know if that's the exact title, but I do know that it is Roger Mendelsohn who is the author. And I would recommend The Gifted Boss by Dale Doughton. Even if you're not a boss or a business owner, I think it's good to read those types of books so you understand the mentality of business owners and how they hire so that you're more likely to get a job, or at the very least to do what is necessary to get yourself a good job. What do you love about your job? Well, there are 3 elements to it. The first part is doing something that I'm told is not possible to do. The second part of it is getting to solve puzzles. The third part of it is being able to make customers happy when I complete the puzzle. And the fourth is being able to make money from it. So there are many jobs where you get to solve a puzzle, but you don't actually get to make much money from it. And also you don't get to see the end result of it, which is a customer going, you got back all my you got back all of my infant's photos, or this stuff from my vacation, or you saved my PhD dissertation, or whatever. There are jobs where you get that fun part at the end, but you don't get paid anything, and it's also kind of boring. This job combines a bunch of different things. There's juggling. There's a lot of juggling that you have to do in this business, and I'm not very good at any one individual thing, but I'm good at juggling a number of things and being able to balance them all at the same time without dropping them. And that, I think, is one of the only reasons that I managed to be a success rather than a complete and total utter failure that I would have been if I was in almost any other job or profession like I was prior to this profession. Excuse me. No real men take effort to train craftsmen anymore. Well, I'm not really much of a craftsman either. Which PC would you consider balanced to purchase? Balanced to purchase. Which PC would you balance to purchase? I don't know what that means. Vegas went to shit since Sony sold it. Nope. Vegas crashed like crazy when Sony had it. So one of the quickest ways you can crash Vegas is turn on latch mode, Control L. I forget if that's latch mode. When you hit Control L and it does the thing where, let's say I have a clip over here. If I delete the clip here, it automatically moves this in. So hit play, have it playing, and just delete the clip that's before it. It won't work. It'll almost 99% of the time crash. Now, if it's right afterwards, it won't. But if you let the video play for 10 seconds and you're in that latch mode and you delete this clip over here, this won't slide over. It just crashes. And a few days ago, it actually crashed when I hit Control S. So I'm playing, and it's not crashing. It's working, and I hit Control S and it crashes. That's fucking foul. There's there's rules in war, and there's rules in software crashing, and you don't crash when somebody hits Control S. That's just fucked up. That's like shooting at someone in a ceasefire. Where would you suggest the best place to find a mid-2010 MacBook Pro white plastic model parts other than eBay? You're not going to find it. So there's a few reasons for that. The first is that model had low sales volume because most people that year either opted to get a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro. And B, the shit's 9 years old. Like I don't fix those anymore because I can't find good parts to them. So I unfortunately have no answer to that. Your best bet is eBay, and for any part you want, you're going to have to buy 2 or 3 to find one that's any good. More news on News Store. So if you rewind the stream to the beginning, thank you very much, Glass Monster, by the way, you'll see that I'm in the process of trying to find a contractor to do the floor. The only plans I have is the floor. I'm not going to put up the walls. I'm not going to do any of the stuff that I put in that sheet. I just delete it. Like, the only thing I'm going to do now is the floor. I want the floor to be perfectly level so that my back isn't bothered anymore. when I'm sitting down at the benches, and legit, that's it. But finding a contractor to do it is hard. Even when the contractor says this is how much it'll be and I don't lowball them, even if I don't lowball them, if I say, sure, your asking retail price is great, when can I pay you cash to show up and do it? They ignore you because they're contractors, and that appears to be how they make money. Preston Morton says, for $5, my new job requires a MacBook. I hate him. I'm a Windows man, for goodness sake. Which one should I get? Help. Get an A1466 from 2013. Lewis, nowadays you don't do repair videos. Why is that so? It looks like I published a repair video yesterday, and then I think I published another one the day before yesterday. The thing there is that nobody actually watches them. Excuse me. Yeah, so let me show you. So let me show you how YouTube works, just so that you get an idea. All right. Let's scroll over to my YouTube channel. Videos. Okay. Get this out the way. Okay. So, why Apple has to serialize parts, 100,000 views. Right after it, board repair video, 19K views. Apple, news, people care. Me fixing a board, no one gives a shit. Over here, Apple removes product views, 190,000 views. Me fixing an A1466 that's taking 45 to 65 milliamps. A different problem, because usually the A1466 that don't turn on take either 23 milliamps, 100 milliamps, or 250 milliamps. 41K views, aka no one cares. Let's see. What do we have here? MacBook Pro taking 20 milliamps, not turning on. I think the only reason that has 100K is because I put hello welcome with me riding a bike inside in the thumbnail. Here we go. Rossmann Realty and 89,000 views. A1707 board repair, 40K, nobody cares. Happy board repair, 43K views, aka nobody cares. Let's see. MacBook Air no backlight repair with the feedback, 30K, nobody cares. Anti-repair lobbyist, 270K views, people care. Most common Air logic board failure, 42K views, aka nobody cares. A1707 MacBook Pro not charging, stuck at 5 volts, 30K views, nobody cares. The cost of shilling VPN companies is your reputation, 392,000 views. So if you're noticing a pattern there, the pattern is that I do board repair videos on a regular basis. It's just that nobody cares. The YouTube algorithm does not promote educational content. It promotes, I don't know how the fuck it works anymore, and I honestly don't care. People watch what they watch. You can do anything, find what you need in YouTube search, and let someone that knows teach you flooring, walls, plumbing. I don't have the time to learn how to do a floor properly. You have to keep in mind that I'm paying $12,500 a month for this place, which is $400 a day. So, how long will it take for me to learn how to use to do a floor properly, and how much money will it cost in time versus just paying somebody else to do it? The truth will set you free, 31. So Jesus said to the Jews who had believed him, if you abide in my word, you are truly disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Keep it up. Says Alexis Acosta for $50. Thank you. I don't read much of the Bible, but I appreciate it. Can you time-lapse contractor work in the new store? Yes. Have you read that opinion piece in the end of Apple on Forbes? Nope, because every time somebody sends me a link to it, they send me a link to Google Cache that doesn't actually work. So, nope. I would love a link to that. If you have a link to it that works, you're welcome to email it to me at lewis@rossmanngroup.com. But every single one of the emails I've received with a link to that deleted Forbes article is something that is unreadable because it's junk. So what I'm guessing is that the cache or the link that people are sending me worked when they sent it to me, but now no longer works. $12,500 a month. Yes, Danger Bone. I watch those repair videos, says Sneaky Fox. Well, thank you. You make me believe that I'm not wasting my time. 30K views is not bad. 200K is fantastic. It depends in the context of things. Like when people say I have a million subscribers, I always just like that number isn't even real. I don't care about that number. I typically tell people in person that I've got about 20 to 40,000 subscribers, because 20 to 40,000 people are the people that actually watch. That million number, I don't know where the fuck that number comes from, because that number is completely irrelevant. I don't know, maybe they hit the button, they don't care. Maybe they hit the button and they do care, but YouTube purposely doesn't show the stuff. Either way, I don't know what it is. Cold Fusion needs data recovery. Hit him up. I am not an ambulance chaser. I like to joke with the little guy doing this thing, but if someone wants my services, they know where to find me. I'm not really much of a cold calling salesperson. I had to do that for Atlantis Healthcare for the 41 to 45 minutes I worked there before I quit, and that is not something I'm ever doing again for the rest of my life. Fuck cold sales. Fuck cold calls and cold sales. What's a time in your life where you felt like shit and hated yourself? How would you overcome that? I hated myself when my supply company lost $30,000 in a day because I hired a web design company that changed it to authorizing capture to just authorize, and because I was so busy at the time, I didn't notice it until Thanksgiving. That was a Thanksgiving 8 years ago. That did not feel like a good day. Let's see. What are times I felt like shit? I felt like shit when I was first learning board repair, and I would stay up and stay at work until 3 or 4 a.m. for 2 weeks in a row, not get any sleep, and come home and nothing worked again. Nothing worked. That was painful. Lewis could probably do all his editing in Kdenlive. It's free. Ha! Kdenlive. Oh my God, you think Vegas crashes? Oh, that's adorable. Kdenlive crashes if you look at it the wrong way. No. Mr. Clinton could walk by the computer and he could make Kdenlive crash. I know, you're not supposed to say that. It's open source software. It's free. You're not allowed to do that, but just no. Just bought Edemotic ER4SR. Was it a good idea? That is completely subjective. I find those headphones to be somewhat aggravating because of the elevated treble and no bass at all. Again, it's not that they're light in the bass. It's just there's just nothing there. There's just nothing there. I used to have the Edemotic ER6i, and I had the ER4 and the ER4S. It's just I've never had. It's just there's nothing there. And one of the interesting things, if you go to rtings.com, not ratings.com, but rtings.com, that is interesting. Hi, you're linking me to the wrong link. You is that... Huh. I forget what I was just talking about. Damn it, hi. Let's see. Can I play and find out? Oh, yeah. If you look at the ratings on rtings.com, they actually seem to have higher distortion than many headphones that are cheaper. And they seem to have that distortion in the mid-range to high area. So it's not even that they have elevated treble that aggravates me. It's that the elevated treble is not good treble. They're not as pure as people make them out to be. Are you still going through the bureaucracy stage of taking over the new place, or is Dutch actually getting done? I'm going through the contractors don't get back to me even when I say I'm willing to pay or asking price in cash without lowballing part. That part is really fucking annoying. Beyond annoying. How much is it to do the floor? $19K. Okay, cool. I'd like to give you it in cash. When can you come by for me to pay you? Crickets. 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 Tom White funded $1. Thank you. I had a lot of issues with Vegas, too. I went to DaVinci Resolve and Olive Editor for basic clip editing. I tried DaVinci, but it also seemed to... It didn't crash as often as Vegas, but it was enough that I'm not going to learn it from scratch if it has that issue. Adam says, what's your opinion on power jack design on laptops? Supposedly they come loose easy and are hard to repair, at least according to Best Buy Geek Squad. I don't have respect for any laptop power jack that is soldered onto the motherboard in 2019. Lenovo has perfected this thing with the higher-end ThinkPads, where the power jack sits in this little area, and then a wire comes out of the power jack that then clips onto the board. So the power jack is not soldered to the board, so it can move around, so you're almost never going to break it. But if you actually do break it by, I don't know, trying to put your e-bike charger and shoving it into the fucking laptop charge port, you can replace it without soldering. I like that a lot. But that's one of the things I didn't like about the high-end MSI gaming laptops, is the last time I opened one of those high-end MSI gaming laptops, my favorite music was classical. Thank you for the $2, Sam I am. Good taste in music. Is the last time I opened one of those huge MSI gaming laptops, you know what I'm talking about, the ones that are, the ones that if you got shot at and you were holding the MSI, it would take the bullet for you. It looked really durable and awesome, but the power jack is soldered to the board. It's just, there's no fucking excuse for that in 2019. There is no excuse for a laptop power jack to be soldered directly to the motherboard in 2019. It's just, it shows me that you haven't learned anything over the past 15 years. Even though your current landlord wants you out, they're going to try and come after you for the rest of your lease. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. They're not going to be getting anything from that. This is some cheap Focusrite Scarlett thing. It's the only... I have a PreSonus and a Behringer there, and regardless of how I set the buffer size, I can set it as low as I want, but the buffer size, regardless of how low it is, there's always delay, or this is the only one where there's just no lag. I can watch something I record or stream with it, and it's just bam, it's, the lip sync is on the money. Are you a happy person? I am a happy person, and I think it's because I have purpose. If I did not have purpose, I would be a very unhappy person, but... Thank you for the $5, Roll, RSE. Yes, I enjoy life. My question is how you got started with repairs. I was working at Avatar Studios, and all the production assistants there and assistant engineers were hipsters, and they seemed to look down on, how do I put this? I was weird, socially awkward, strange person, didn't really get along with people, and the hipsters were they were the type of people that if you said something that was ever so slightly outside the norm, there would just be some immediate shaming for it. And the people who worked in the tech room there noticed that I was one of the only ones there that actually cleaned the toilets every single day, twice a day. And they said thank you for that. And I had questions about what was going on in that room, and they answered them, and they were nice to me. So I wound up leaving the production the path for intern to production assistant, and went on the path from intern to technician, and it kind of went from there. I was more productive as someone who could repair studio gear than as someone who would record music. Also because I wasn't really a musician. I think it was the culture difference. I got along well immediately with the people who worked in the tech shop at Avatar. I did not get along at all with my other fellow interns or the production assistants or the assistant engineers that worked at Avatar. There was one other intern that I got along with and liked, but he didn't get hired, and I did. But yeah, I think what really got me started in it was that. And then when I was a kid, there was the modifying game consoles thing. But the thing that really got me started on the track was that. And then I wound up buying a MacBook that was dead. Not dead. It was supposed to be working. And the screen and some other stuff was fucked up with it. I don't remember exactly what it was because it was 11 years ago. And I wound up fixing it. I got a discount from the seller. I wound up not needing it anymore for the recording studio. Maybe $15K cash make you seem too good and fishy. Oh, well. Maybe they expect me to bargain and haggle. I don't know. I just need the job done, so I was going for it. But I guess there's always an excuse when it comes to contractors to just not want to do it. I really don't get how the fuck they make money. This has been my experience with it over the past 8 years. I don't understand how most contractors make money. But anyway, so I needed a machine to use Logic on, and I was not a Mac user because taste. So I didn't have a Mac. But then I needed a Mac, so I bought it. I wound up reselling it when I didn't need it. Why does modern music suck? Because people consume it, and they don't and as long as they continue to consume it, and it will suck. A lot of people are also very basic people. They're simple people, and they will enjoy whatever you play them so long as it has any sort of rhythm to it. If it's on the radio, it must be what is good because other people like it. Therefore, I will like it. I think a lot of people have that type of basic mindset. And so the next part of it is, I wound up selling it, and I thought, oh, I'm broke. I just made about $200 or $300 for something that took 20 minutes of my time. Let's try that again. And that's how I accidentally stumbled my way into MacBook repair as a profession. Paul Daniels says Caden Live is a steaming pile of festering installment poop. I will agree with Paul Daniels there. If there's anybody who knows bad code when he sees it, it's Paul Daniels. And no, seriously, that piece of shit used to crash so much. I gotta find the video I have in my main channel where I just looped it crashing for no reason. Hello, welcome. Keep up the board repair streams. I love your thought process, not only in your life experience, but your ability to apply a diagnostic process to repeated success. Thank you, Gregory Warfield. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Thank you. I've worked in insurance for 16 years. I'm well-versed in hating life, says Brian Ingram. I'm sorry to hear that. There isn't any Super Mileo. And it doesn't really matter. Not sure about that, Jeff HAKKO, but thank you. Becoming public numb your evolutionary patterns. You have same perspective bricks as you had 2016, but now act because of public. That does not make sense. That does not make even the slightest bit of sense. You high, bro? Okay. I think you're high. Are you currently in your new store? Nope. Requires... New store... Favorite Dream Theater instrumental? Oh, there's so many. Everything to me is a Dream Theater instrumental because in almost all of their music, I fast forward past James LaBrie singing because it causes me pain. 90% of the time that I love Dream Theater. I really love Dream Theater. I just can't stand their singing. I can't do it. Let's see. There's so many good things that they have. Hello, welcome. Long time first caller. Love your videos, even though I don't understand them. I thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Glad you enjoy. Let's see, what do you have? You have the end of Scarred. That's a good one. The ending to Scarred is really good. Scarred from 8:15. Yeah, I'll lower it a little bit. Sorry about that. Hello, welcome. What you taking, Dobby? Come here. Crash. see, what else do I have? End of stream of consciousness? That's a good one. I think that was stream of consciousness. That is bullshit, Lois. It's lied, says Tom Peters. Dude, you're listening to YouTube at 1 a.m. GTFO. Come on. Okay. I could have made sure that it was a little lower, but still. Dream Theater is such a circle jerk, says D. Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Hello,
Rock out loud music. Somebody asked for the music. You got music. Okay. I don't know why it distorts like that. Is it summing to... Is it going from stereo to mono or something? Or oh, well. Hi says I'm not coming to work tomorrow because I'm now deaf. Not a question, but a compliment for your staff. I stopped in to ask about a 2006 17-inch MacBook Pro repair. The guy sitting at the desk by the window was awesome. I hope to buy that one that was in display in the window. Did you happen to have an X1600 that was failing? That sounds like an X1600 failing GPU. Why are you awake?
Hello, welcome.
Okay, let's see. Are you mental? Yes. Thoughts on the new 16-inch MacBook. If something has a bug and you don't, it takes you 3 years to assess it as a bug. And then once you finally assess it and fix it, you call the return to be working normal magic. You might be Apple. Lewis, longtime watcher. I have a 2009 15-inch MacBook Pro. I need a battery and a two-piece backplate. Two-piece backplate. That's 2008. In a few words as possible, why do you feel right to repair is important? I'm writing a paper on the subject, and I'm hoping to quote you. I think it's important because you're reducing waste. You're reducing waste of money that most people don't have to spend, and you're encouraging an analytical thinking thought process that is important to maintaining a society of people that have a brain. In terms of a battery, that machine was produced for 3 months and then discontinued. So finding a battery for it 11 years later is unfortunately going to be impossible. If you want one that's actually quality, you'll find a lot of them, but not many quality ones. And the bottom cover, again, they're all going to be destroyed by now. I learned a lot about electronics, small business, and real estate. Thank you, Greg. Please show something on New Store how you are setting up stuff. As soon as I get started with the moving, yes. Happy Thanksgiving, thoughts on Surface Pro 7. I haven't seen much about the new Surface. The only thing that I've seen with the new Surface is that they made the bottom openable, and that was about it. Is that a couch or a chair? Wouldn't you like to know? Do you own any cryptocurrency? Unfortunately, I do. I did take part in that consensual Ponzi scheme a year and a half ago because I'm an idiot. You still running courses/workshops? No, we may have courses again in the new store. I can't do courses here because there's no space for them, unfortunately.
Hello, welcome.
Why don't you do iMac/Pro repair? That's a good question. Well, one of the thing is that most of the business is based on scale. So let's say I get 50 or 100 or 300 of a specific device a week. It then becomes worth it to go through the misery of pursuing parts, stocking them, and everything else. With those machines, to even do any sort of basic diagnosis, anything at all, I need to remove a $600 screen, that $600 to $1,000 screen that may break. So free estimate, that's out the fucking window because I have to risk breaking a $600 to $1,000 part. And that pisses people off. When you don't have a free estimate, you've pissed somebody off. Then there is the fact that I would have to... If people expect you to have an answer for them within 2 days max. If it takes you 3 days, they'll be pissed off, which means having to stock everything. Hey, Lewis, what headphones are good for listening while walking to school? Annoying iPhones don't have headphone jacks now. I'm going to get hate for it, but I still like the Shure IEMs because of the way they fit. They're not the best IEMs, but they do fit well. So keep in mind, I haven't used a bunch of the newer IEMs, and there's a bunch that have come out in the past few years. I just use those because I'm a boomer, and I haven't had time to check new ones. But yeah, the thing is, A, you have to have a free estimate, and B, you have to be able to repair it. You have to be able to at least tell somebody what's wrong with it within 2 days or they lose their shit. In order to do that, you have to stock every part. Check Discord Patreon channel for my bike with your Batmobile LEDs. I will do so, Copass. Thank you for the PP3V42_G3Hop. So you have to have the parts in stock, which means that I have to buy about a few $1,000s of inventory. But the problem is iMacs only show up with issues. People only ask about them probably once every month. So it's not worth it to stock thousands of dollars of inventory to be able to offer the level of service required for something that you see that rarely. Further, most people ask about GPUs on iMacs, and they're typically asking about old iMac GPUs. That's the most common issue with iMacs, and they're also not available. So there's that I can't do. Two things are happening with my 2006 MacBook Pro. The screen will go black, dead X1600, and the MagSafe will flicker between orange and green. Bad battery. Yeah, so you have a bad battery and you have a dead X1600 GPU. Neither of which I can do anything about because that machine is 13, 14 years old. Will you stream till new ep of Mandalorian is out? I don't know what that is. Thank you very much for the $2, Matthew. Glass Monster says I'm using a 600-watt tube amp and 4 15-inch speakers. Watch the volume. Thank you, Glass Monster.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, so with the iMac thing, it really comes down to how many in order for it to be viable, you have to get a lot of them. And most of the people ask about GPUs. Now, and there's also the pissing people off with the not free estimate. And technically you could do an estimate without opening it. It would just be a bullshit estimate.
Hello, welcome.
I'm not saying it's not impossible to do. If there were, let's see, you would be able to do it. It's just, how do I put this? Not enough people show up and ask for it, really. And anytime somebody shows up and asks, it's, I have the new iMac Pro and it randomly shuts down. It's like, get the fuck out of here with that. Random shutting down is a problem that 99% of the time is not solvable. And when it is, it's usually going to be an SSD, which I can't buy. It's going to be something that I can't buy. And at least with MacBooks, there's enough demand for repair for it that even if the parts are not available, somebody will put in the work to make the parts available, if you know what I'm saying. But when it comes to the iMac Pro, nobody's putting in the work and effort to make the parts available because the demand is simply not there. So being able to do repair of these types of devices as one-off jobs is something you could do if the manufacturer made stuff available. But since they don't, people don't understand that to get a supply chain going, for the devices I work on now, for just one MacBook, I probably have 4 different parts vendors, and I had to vet each of those parts vendors over a several-month time period, and then I stock the parts for it. It takes a lot of time, work, and effort to find out where do I get the screen, where do I get the screen cable, and where do I get the connector to solder onto the board. The screen cable, and the screen connector, those 3 different parts come from 3 different vendors, and I probably went through an additional 9 vendors to find 3 that would actually send it to me when I wired the money, rather than just ignore me and never contact me again. It's not worth it to do that fucking misery for something if I'm not getting hundreds and hundreds a week. Now, if we lived in a world where I just go to, Mouser.com and I can buy shit like that, or I just go to the manufacturer and I can buy a screen, then we live in a world where maybe taking on one-off jobs like, these little one-off jobs is worth it. But it's not at this point in time. It's only worth it if you can get the economy of scale going that makes going through that bullshit to find a supply chain worthwhile. All right. Thanks for everything you do, Ken and G. Thank you for the $10. I don't work on Mac, but what you've taught has really helped me with other PC repair. Thanks for being real and down to earth. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving and all that. The 12 dislikes are people who are bad. The 12 dislikes are probably the people I made deaf because I did not figure out why that was clipping. It's really strange because in FooBar 2000, in order for something to not clip, I have to lower it by -5 in FooBar in order for it to not clip in OBS, which is strange because it's not clipping for me. So something funky is happening there. And I have no plugins going on in FooBar either. So very strange. But yeah, sorry for making you all deaf before. You are not a boomer. Yes, but sometimes I act like one. How'd you gain expertise? Any tech book, like any books you recommend? The books didn't help me much with the electronics. They helped me with business, not with electronics. How do you feel about the only thing keeping the economy afloat is the Federal Reserve creating cash out of thin air? That's not the only thing keeping the economy afloat. The other thing that's keeping the economy afloat is that there are a lot of, is that real estate is in a bubble. So banks are able to loan out money based on the ratio of assets they have to money they're loaning out. So let's say a bank has $1 million in assets. It may be, if you have a 1 to 100 leveraging ratio, I'm just pulling this out of my ass. That means if you have $1 million of assets, you can loan out $100 million of money. Well, ever since this stupid housing bubble has been created, banks now have a lot more assets. Even though they don't have any new houses, the stuff that they have, their asset value has gone up, which means they're able to loan out more money, which means they're able to prop up more unsustainable businesses, which then hire people who then spend money. The problem with that is that if the housing values ever go down, then that house of cards goes away because they have to call in their loans. The unsustainable businesses that require the loan money to operate then go away. The people that work at those businesses lose their job. The demand for the parts and services that they would buy goes away. And then the fake, false economy we have goes away. That's not all Federal Reserve. Quite a bit of it is the housing bubble as well. One may argue that the housing bubble was pushed or encouraged on by the Federal Reserve, but that is a rabbit hole that I'm not going to get into. Brian Ingram says, what phone and laptop do you use? I use a ThinkPad P50 because it's durable and powerful, and I use an LG G8 because it was $300 on eBay because it has a scratch on it that somebody was like, I don't want my phone is scratched. I'm going to buy another one. And I'll take the phone with the scratch on it. I could give a shit less because it has a nice camera. I don't really give a shit about like the side-by-side photos. What I care about is that it could be on my bike and doing this, and it actually takes video as good, if not better, than the GoPro with regards to video stabilization. It can record 24-bit WAV files with the video. So when I was doing those videos, for the real estate series, anything I did off of the LG, from the external microphone that I was plugging in, that shotgun, it was recording 24-bit WAV, not a lossy, shitty AAC. And that was cool. And I like that. And did I mention it was $300? I didn't buy it for the sound out of the audio jack. Thank you, Alexis Acosta. Because here's the funny thing with it. If I use Neutron, so somebody could comment on this after the stream. I'm being a boomer, please, broing my audience here. I apologize. But if I'm playing audio out of the Neutron, the music player, a FLAC file, it'll sound fucking beautiful. Even on the IEMs that are really sensitive. Even if an IEM is 114 or 116 dB per 1 watt sensitivity, there'll be virtually no hiss. It's just beautiful. What is your vision for your business 35 years? In 35 years, I'll probably be dead. But I appreciate it, Russ. Thank you for the 40 rubs. With if I try to use Audible or YouTube, there'll be noise. Now, that's not because the files themselves are lower quality. It's that kind of noise that you expect if I'm using, the audio out of some Pentium machine from 22 years ago before they really had good separation between the headphone jack and the noise in the board. It's that kind of shit. It's, really low-grade sound card inside of a computer with no shielding kind of noise. And that shows up in Audible and YouTube and any other app if I'm using the headphone out, but not with Neutron. I'm not really sure why. That's with hi-fi DAC or that quad DAC shit turned on or off. I don't know what the fuck it is. But it's a decent phone for the $300 I paid for it. Maybe building management can recommend a contractor. Funny you ask. I actually asked them, and they said they'd prefer that I find my own. So that there's that. You see what Portney said about Labrie? I'm on Portney's side. Leroy, I don't know that. I don't follow it. But do let me know. How do you find out your meaning in life? I had trouble getting out of bed in the morning. I think life is almost pointless because I will just die one day. I still go to work and go to college. Though I think it's for nothing. It's hard. That's the hardest part of it because I found my purpose by accident. First, I thought my purpose would be to fix recording studio gear for the best studio in the world. I remember even though I was working for free for a while and then I was getting $7.50 an hour. Minimum wage back then was $7.15, so I was getting 35 cents more than everybody else. You know how fucking awesome I felt about that? I'm getting 35 cents more! Yeah! Effing productionists. Fuck you, production assistants. Damn hipsters. But anyway, besides me being a dick when I was 18 years old, I stumbled into my purpose by accident. I used to think I have purpose because I keep the best fucking recording studio in the world. I'm part of why that place has kept working. And after that, I found my purpose in this. So I'm teaching people board repair, or I'm getting people their data back, or I'm saving people from getting fucking ripped off by the Genius Bar. I found a purpose, but what kills me is that I found it by accident. This was all an accident. I needed to use Logic. I didn't have a Mac, so I bought a machine. I wound up reselling it. I realized I made money doing it. I said, let me do this again. And by accident, I stumbled on the fact that the Genius Bar is one of the world's largest companies, is running one of the largest rip-off scams on its customers. And that just happens to be Apple. Love you. Love your stay as you are. Greetings from Germany. Thank you very much for the €2. I stopped buying every new iPhone this year. I just got tired of only thing out of their mouths was camera. I hate how everything is so focused on camera. I want to focus on software and hardware. Because the ability to take better selfies than you could last year is the only thing that makes any of these phones any different from at all innovative. There's no new amazing innovation that comes out of these smartphones. It's just camera. And one of the things that's driving the purchases of newer phones is, in and of itself, narcissism, which you'll find on Narcigram, as my old personal trainer used to call Instagram. He used to call it Narcigram. Because that's the thing. It's just like, what filters does this have that I could put on myself so that I look younger or hotter or sexier or stronger than somebody else? How can I take my picture so that I could become a wannabe influencer better than everybody else? That's why I don't care about this stuff. I mean, I have a little light at home, but the camera that I'm filming this with is a $250 Sony A5100 that I got on eBay because the flash doesn't work. And I'm sitting here, like ugly as I am, no filter, because that shit doesn't matter. But narcissism is what really drives the sales of new phones. Better camera. Oh my God, I may look better on Instagram. More people are going to double tap a picture of me at the gym or me bending over with my ass or whatever the fuck it is. James Riley funded $10. Love your content. Do you see any future collabs happening with other channels? I'm not a social person, so I don't imagine seeing myself collaborate. But yeah, the ability to take better pictures that show people off or make them look better than they are really seems to be a driving factor with smartphones. Look up the Federal Reserve repo operations. The Federal Reserve has created at least $300 billion to recapitalize the banks in September. Joy, inflation. Very cool, Frappo of the week. Chat formatting, 3 or 5 years. It was 35 years. Oh, okay. Yeah, so in 3 to 5 years, my plan would be A, I'd like to do far more data recovery videos. B, I want to cut into this bullshit business where people are paying $75 or $90 a click with Google AdWords for data recovery and then charging customers $5,000 to $20,000 for basic data recoveries that, while requiring a skilled technician, don't need to cost that much. I would like to really disrupt that industry. I would like to disrupt the hard drive data recovery industry where they're charging customers $5,000 to $20,000 for basic drive failures. I want to do that in a big way when I move. I got, that's the first thing I want to go in for after redoing the floor. I'd like to do a lot, and I'd really just like to get more business in every single way. So I haven't actually focused much on, I am an avionics tech and fix aircraft electronics on phones and computers. I find your repair videos soothing. Thank you very much, Adam Jacobs. So I would like to, I would definitely, and also I would like to try and go back to some of the traditional ways of getting business. So, like, when I started doing YouTube videos, I completely stopped doing the attempt at sales. So, I used to have, there were 2 local schools. I had the entire Owensboro school district in Kentucky as a client for both buying parts and also sending stuff to repair. I had a lot more companies sending stuff in and stuff like that. How's Super Pooper Oreo going? He's doing well. I've been giving him his medication and he's doing well. And he's going to eat himself a mouse from my office tomorrow, so there's that. And when I started doing YouTube videos, I stopped doing that entirely. So as the clients went away, as these types of clients do, there is a thing called churn. I stopped getting new ones. And I am going to be putting a lot more effort when I move into that, even if it means that I lose a little bit on the YouTube side, because I'm going to have to so that I can get the additional business. But I'm going to put a lot of effort into that traditional marketing that I used to put in 2013 and 14 and stopped when I started doing educational stuff and putting all this time in the videos. It's great to see you taking the time to do this. It breaks my heart that a lot of our government institutions are forcing overpriced contracts, no competition / not the best prices. I can't buy used devices, can't sell used devices / can't get. Yeah, that sucks. When I hear about those types of contracts where they say, I'm only allowed to buy from this list of vendors, and then I look at the list of vendors and what they charge, and it's like, oh my God. Like, that type of stuff is the type of stuff where when they say, taxes, we need to up taxes here we need to up taxes here so that these things are funded. And then I see what they do with the funding. It just makes me, ugh. I want to contribute to society being better, but I don't want to contribute to where, some fuckface is forcing a company to buy, fucking single core duo desktops for $450 a piece for their staff members, because that's the only one of the 3 vendors on the list they're allowed to buy from, kind of thing. Yeah, for the person who was talking about what gets you up in the morning, the reason I don't have a good answer to that is that I found my sense of purpose accidentally. And I used to feel just like you, especially as a teenager when I lived in a household where there was just really nothing other than people screaming at each other all the time. And I found my purpose accidentally. And what you got to find something that's you got to find something that gets you happy to wake up in the morning. I don't mean loving your job, because that whole thing about finding something to do that you're passionate about is bullshit. I do what you love. Like, fuck that. I mean, it's the wrong way. It's the cart before the horse. Find something that you're good at, that you're amazing at, that helps society. And when you're good at doing something that helps society, then the success that comes with it and the sense of purpose that comes with it makes whatever you do great. You have to think like, in your heart of hearts, do you think I honestly love running wires under LP8550s? No, I fucking don't. I'm not passionate about running a wire underneath a corroded chip in a board that looks like shit. That's not passion, but I enjoy making customers happy. I enjoy showcasing that when Apple said it was going to be $1,500 to fix this, that they're ripping you off. I enjoy helping somebody get their data back when they otherwise would not be able to get their data. And I enjoy solving puzzles. And I also enjoy making money. And when you combine all those things together, it turns into something that I'm good at, that I enjoy doing, that's good for society. So, yeah, it's that. So, whereas if you focus on doing what you're passionate about, and you never get an opportunity to do it, and then you don't feel like you have a sense of purpose, then you'll be depressed. I never got to finish that last donation from 20 minutes ago, where the guy was saying about waking up in the morning. But if you got to find something to do that actually makes people happy, or that affects society in some positive way, rather than just doing like what you want to do. And that's hard. Because again, for me, I have sympathy for people who can't figure out what that is, because I found it by accident. And I think that's why I put so much effort in. When people say, why do you work so hard? Or why are you streaming board repair at 2 a.m. on Christmas Eve and then Christmas? When you have, like, if you look at my live channel, not this channel, I have another channel with an accurate subscriber count of 40,000 subscribers. It's the actual number of people that watch my stuff, not this million crap. But if you look on that channel and you look at last year, Christmas Eve, the day after Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's, like every single day of the year, I'm there fixing boards. 3 p.m. there, 3 a.m. there, is because I've tried my best to find something that gives me a sense of purpose that I'm good at, that's actually my calling, and I failed repeatedly. And I finally found something, and I feel such a sense of appreciation, but also a sense of duty to continue doing that and put my best effort in that. I'm willing to grab onto it for dear life and not let go. And finding that is really, really hard, because it's not like it's something that where you have to do a lot of work. It's really easy to do a lot of work. It's easy to work 14 hours a day. It's easy to bang your head against the wall trying to make a business work when you don't have money. It's hard to know what it is you're supposed to do, in what industry, what job, what problem to solve. Like, where do you fit? Finding where you fit is the hard part. Doing the 16 or 18 hours a day of work for a couple of years to get where you want to go within that industry, that's easy. For the past 30 minutes, I've been looking at a keyboard that I found for $75 off while listening to you in the background. I already have 2 mechanical keyboards. Convince me to not get a third. Clean your existing keyboard. Don't put more money into that. What you should put money into is a black kitten. Here, let me show you. The more money you spend on a keyboard, the less money you'll have to put into a little adorable black kitten. Oh, you bird. Good little Barry. Who's my Barry? Look at that little Barry. Barry, tell him not to get it. Congrats.
Welcome.
Hey, Louis, just got back from work in the holiday sale. Congrats on the new space. Awesome. Junger, where do you work? What happened to Eli the computer guy? I don't know. He hasn't streamed as much lately. I miss watching his streams. That's the other thing. One of my purposes in life to not go bankrupt is essentially Eli the computer guy. He's one of the things driving me in life to not go bankrupt. I actually thought that perhaps I would end my business, a year or two after I figured out that my lease wasn't going to get renewed. Then I heard Eli talk about me going bankrupt, and now I got to figure out something to do from now until, fucking 2050 or so. Investing into Black Kitten. The Good One Medic gave you $20, Barry. How are you going to spend it? Can you share the temperatures, timeframes used to successfully remove parts, a chipset that you want to reuse from donor boards? I attempt to use the chipsets I have on hand before I am forced to wait patiently, Alibaba. Thanks, Tony. Phone board? Phone board, 375 to 400 Celsius. MacBook board, 450 to 500 Celsius. Obviously, this totally depends on the board. Certain boards don't absorb and dissipate heat as quickly, so you use much lower temperatures. Some do, so you use higher. It also depends on the size of the nozzle that you're using. There are so many factors there. And the last thing is, how accurate is your station? I had a Weller WHA 900. When I set it to 500 Celsius, it would heat up to 480. I have a JBC in the office. When you set it to 450 Celsius, it goes to 517 right out of the box. By the way, for people who may wonder why the JBC station seems so awesome, it's because when you set it to 450 Celsius, it goes to 517. No wonder it's so much faster than the other station. I sent you some links about DaVinci Resolve. Try before going the Apple route for editing. I had enough of DaVinci. I tried it. It crashed 2 times without me. No VST plugins, no video plugins, just good old-fashioned editing. Crashed. Bye. You crashed on a ThinkPad P50, which is pre-built. You crashed on an Intel platform, i9, and you crashed on an AMD Ryzen Threadripper. It's like, nope, you're done. You're done. Nope. No overclocking either. None of my systems are overclocked. I don't overclock anything. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Mong Lee. Have you ever thought of running for office? Oh, hell no. What, you mean so that people have an incentive to dig through every single thing I've ever said and every single thing I've ever done and point out something that I've done that is bad, so that I'm forced to either admit that I did something bad and pay the consequences for it, or lie about it like every other politician? Hell no. And then have somebody dig through everything I do and try and figure out the ulterior motive to it and slander me and stand outside my house with signs and throw shit at my window. No, thank you. Nope. I think there's far better ways to help society. What you do is you clean up your own little corner of the world. Whatever it is you're doing or you're involved with, I try my best in my corner of the world, in my little area of expertise, in my area where I can do something. How can I make the most of it? How can I clean it up as best as I can and encourage others to do the same? If everybody does that, then we're in better shape. And what the fuck am I going to do by running for office? Becoming a politician means pissing off this group of people to make this group of people happy. Or making this group of people happy now by pissing off that group of people 20 years later. But 20 years later, I won't be in office anymore, so that'll be the next guy's problem. Like, nope, not doing it. Please consider doing more audio electronics videos. I haven't worked on audio electronics in 11 years, man. You really don't want to see my audio electronics stuff. It's junk. But what I think is Camille, who works with me, actually works at an audio shop, and I think it may be cool if we get some of what he does on camera. Maybe he'll do that. It would help promote his place, and it would make all of you happy. What's your favorite screwdriver, says Lex809. The Wera T5? The Weha Phillips 000? Those are some quality ones. Is Oreo better now? Oreo is doing better since I've been giving him his medicine. I finally figured out how to get all of his medicine to him to take it without spitting it out. It's not easy. What's the key to a good moral compass? Oh, I don't have that. You'd have to ask somebody who's a moral person. I'm not much of a moral individual. One of the reasons it's easy for me to recognize when somebody else is being a piece of crap is because I am a piece of crap myself sometimes. Actually, quite often. It's quite difficult. Let's see. I think being honest with yourself. Why do you feel what you feel? Why do you have the desire to do what you're doing? What is it that's motivating you to do something? Never assume that the reason that you're doing something is because you're a good person. That's helpful. For me, I try to avoid assuming that why I'm doing or saying what I'm doing or saying is because I am a good human. What are the other possible reasons I'm doing or saying what I'm saying?
Hello, welcome.
How big is your favorite screwdriver? 5.5 inches. Do you have any advice when dating a nerdy person? Become interesting. Become interesting. If you're dating a nerdy person and you're not interesting, there is a timer on your relationship. And it's only going to last until they become completely and utterly bored with you. So your job is going to be to become interesting. I don't think I'm a good person. I think I just so happen to do good things for people. But that's not because I'm a good person. Just moved to New York and looking for a job. Been interested in board repair, but also can handle video content. Hiring is going to be delayed for a bit after moving into the new place. Probably look back in maybe 6 months to a year. There's going to be what's the word? I'm probably going to have the budget for it a year or so from now. What if I never reach my purpose like you did? Don't what if yourself. Don't go into the negative what if spiral. Distract yourself with something else. Distract yourself with books. Distract yourself with Audible. Distract yourself with YouTube videos. Of course, not YouTube videos by Not Bag Ideologues. Distract yourself listening to something that stops you from what ifing. Anytime you feel that the what if starting to come on, just get up and do something. Do something else. How long do you think the move will take? Realistically speaking, I think 2.5 to 3 months. So I think the floor, ideally, if things went right, I had a contractor show up once, and he said he'd like to show up again today to look at the space between 11 and 2. In an ideal world, he would actually show up tomorrow, and since he said he'd like to get the job done in a week, he would get it done within 3 weeks because he's a contractor. In an ideal world, that would be done. I would hang some acoustic panels, buy some desks, and I would be in there in a month, maybe a month and a half. That's an ideal world. But this is the real world, which means that probably 3 months. Lewis, please sleep. You look dead. This is how I always look. I'm not tired. I'm just ugly. Explaining that to people typically makes them feel more comfortable with my eyes. If I sleep 12 hours a day for 2 weeks like I did on vacation a few years ago, I will come back and I will still look like this. That's not health. That's just being ugly. Are you satisfied with the deal you got in the new place? Yes and no. I'm satisfied with the deal. I'm not super satisfied with this issue I'm having with their certificate of occupancy and how it makes it a pain in the ass to file things. But nothing is easy in New York City. Bike LED works. I soldered both of them in parallel and soldered an XT60 connector to it powered by my DIY drone battery. Man, this thing is super bright. Awesome, Kopaz. I'm glad. What's a homie got to do to get a job, though? The way if you could help me get a job is helping a bank give me a business loan, because then I could afford to hire you. For the time being, we are going to be getting a lot of stuff done ourselves. Thank you for answering my question about purpose. I really do appreciate that you're honest about it. I'm in high school electrical engineering at UAH. I just hope I find a purpose soon. I do like learning. That is why I watch your videos. Thank you. Thank you much to Ghost Boy. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I think I read that one.
Hello, welcome.
How you've learned to stand your ground. I think the best way to learn how to stand your ground is to live the consequences of not standing your ground. So one of the best things to help me stand my ground is realizing what happens when I don't. Like, I had this one person invest in my business, and he kept asking me to do things that would cause it. He kept asking me to do stuff for short-term gain that would screw me in the long term. And he didn't want to give me a loan. He wanted to invest. He wanted to be a partner. And then we became partners. And then when the business failed, he wanted me to continue paying him what he, back what he invested in the business. And like, I was doing it. And then I realized, damn, I'm writing every single time I wrote him a check at the end of the month. I just felt like such a bitch because I wanted a loan. You wanted a partnership. I did your idea, and now I'm paying you because your idea failed? What? And so it's just when you see the results, when you see what happens when you don't stand your ground, or when you're friends with somebody and they just never stop hitting you up for something, and then you realize that you see what they're doing with what it is you're giving them, and you see that you're never fixing the problem, and you see that they don't care to consistently hit you up again and again and again and again. You'll feel it. You'll feel this terrible feeling in the pit of your stomach, and in like the back of your head, like right over here, there'll be this strange thing where, like right over here, you'll feel this strange stress, like there's this neural net on your head, or that thing that Elon Musk wants to come up with, and you'll feel it just activate and tingle, and you'll just feel like a piece of crap. And it's not like you learn how to stand your ground just by somebody talking to you. It's when you realize what happens when you don't stand your ground, I think. Will you just trash mostly everything? Huh? I don't want to trash things. Love my kitty. That's a kitty. Can you set up a 1 to 4 person lounge in the new store? Allow fans and customers to share ideas about the industry. I am not even setting up walls in the beginning. We're literally budgeting for a floor, and that's it. So in the beginning, there's not going to be a wall. That back office to level the floor has to be, the wall has to go down. I'm not even putting the wall back up. I'm not putting up a wall in the front. It's literally just going to be one room, floors, and then acoustic panels so that we can actually work without constant echo. That's it. I think it would be cool. I wanted to be able to do meetups at the store but there's not going to be a lounge. It's literally just going to be one room in the beginning. I'm a fresh computer engineering student inspired partially by your videos. Hopefully I can help improve my little corner of the world too. Please say hi to your kitties from me too. Neil said hello to you, kitty. And he gave you something called SGD. Do you know what that is, Blackberry?
Hello,
I have no idea what that is. Is there going to be a video looking at the lease? I'm interested in what they proposed and what you changed. I don't know. I don't know how... I don't know if we got time to go over that. Have you ever experienced anything supernatural or paranormal? Thank you for the $5. I'm not sure. That would be a good idea to look through it, but I just don't know if I'm going to have time for it. I've never experienced anything supernatural or paranormal.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, being used, says Frequent CIO. When you feel the feeling of being used, you'll understand that you never want to feel that way again, and then you'll start to stand your ground. Thank you for the content. Recently had tonsil surgery and spent the last week watching nothing but your videos. Huh. Thank you, Dom. I hope your tonsils are better. All right. Louis, what's your target employee number? The amount required to do the job properly without ridiculous turnaround times and to offer the services that I want to offer. Whatever that number is. That is a static figure. Will you be accepting any artwork to hang in the new store? Sure. Yeah, the lounge idea, I think it would be really cool to be able to do meetup groups there. I think it would be awesome. And I was thinking about having some sort of strange custom furniture made where there were locks in front of stuff so I could actually have meetup groups but not have to worry about customers' device security. But that's like, that's not happening anytime soon. But I would like to do meetup groups at the new store. Well, we did 2 or 3 and they were actually very successful. Have you considered what to do the day Apple makes it so opening a MacBook bricks it? I don't think we're going to get to that point anytime soon. And I'm sure somebody's going to clip this because 6 months from now, you never know if they may come up with one. But I really don't think that that's happening sometime soon. Yeah, I think it would be cool to have meetup groups in the new place. We could actually fit people in there. But in the beginning, it's not going to be anything. It's just open space. I'm just doing floor, acoustic panels, done. How much more business would you do in a recession where people don't have money to buy new? I'm not sure. I think that's where a lot of Eli the computer guy's misconceptions come from when he talks about me going bankrupt is my business started in the recession. So I started this in November of 2008, and the demands for it just kept getting higher and higher and higher and higher exponentially. This happened right after Bernie Madoff got caught and all the, AIG was going to shit. And the thing is, when people don't have money to buy new, they're a lot more willing to fix what they have. That's a revenue stream.
Hello, welcome.
Just wanted to hear you say PP Bus G3 Hot. PP Bus G3 Hot. And thank you for the $2. Seriously, is this a recording? Yes, this is pre-recorded. Because most content on Twitch is pre-recorded. That's what the platform is known for. But this is a business where when a recession occurs and people don't have money to buy new stuff, that's what happens. Eli's business, from what I understand, he was selling security systems, phone systems, build-outs. That's the type of stuff that people do when they're flush with money. Oh, we have these shitty analog cameras. Let's put IP in. Or, oh, I think it's time that our business get a security system. Or, I think it's time you get a real phone system for our business. That's shit that people do when they have money. When people's budgets collapse, that's not what they do. But our business is the exact opposite of that. When someone's budget collapses, then when something of theirs breaks, it's not, I'm going to buy a new one like they do when the economy's good. It's crap. I need to figure out how to fix this. I need this shit for work or I'm screwed. I don't want to pay to fix this, but if I don't fix this, then I won't have a salary and I'll be even more broke than I am now. So it's one of those things where I'm not really worried about a recession coming because this is something that people are going to want anyway. Thank you. You inspired me to buy a 2010 that clearly had a faulty GPU cap, cost $64 after a bit of faffling and first attempt at surface mount. It's working. Awesome, Jeremy. That's a good feeling now, isn't it? When you see the fan spin and the shit don't crash when you boot it up and you don't see that error anymore, it's a good feeling. I know it's a good feeling. And it's awesome that the thing is, for me, I could give a shit less about that feeling because I've had that feeling about 19,000 times now, so it's just kind of gotten boring for me. But what makes the feeling feel good again is seeing or experiencing it vicariously through other people who are feeling it for the first time. When you see how excited somebody else gets when they figure it out for the first time, that's fun. And then you get to relive how it felt for you or how it felt for me the first time I felt that. Have you ever thought of opening a Los Angeles location or anywhere in the West Coast? I have not, because that would cost money. And right now, I do not even have the budget to reopen this location, but I'm doing it because I need to, because the amount of incoming business is going up to the point where I can't fit it in my current store. So I don't have the budget or the funds to really do I have the funds to move into this place. I don't have the funds to, open it nicely. But there's absolutely, like opening new locations across the company, that's for people that can go to a bank and actually get a loan. Now, there's franchising. You can do franchising where somebody else takes on the financial risk of doing it, But the problem with franchising is that then I turn into You Break, I Fix, or I Fix and Repair, or CPR, or any one of these other fucking disgraces that, no, I'm just not doing that. I'm not turning into a place that outsources fucking trackpad cable replacement. I'm not turning into a place that outsources backlight fuse replacement. It's not happening. I don't want to do that. If I open another location, it's going to be with people that I find, that I hire, and I choose, and I control. And not saying that other repair shops shouldn't open. I'm all for it. But if they've got my name on it, it's going to be done my way. And I would rather not run it than run it and have it be shit. So what I would rather do is create educational stuff that hopefully makes other people do their job better. So if I can't open a shop in Los Angeles, because that's probably going to cost me a few $100,000, I have to rent the place, I have to fix the place up. It's going to take me probably 6 months to a year to really drum up business in a new area where I have no Google ranking. I have to fixtures, all that shit. If it's going to cost me that amount of money, then if I can't do that, at the very least, I would like to help the existing shops there to not do stupid shit. Don't reflow dead GPUs. Don't put a 2013 screen in a 2015 A1502 and expect it to work properly. If I can help them do things, then I'll create value through doing that. And maybe somewhere down the line, the value that I create from doing that will come back to me in some way, shape, or form. Or perhaps it'll just, I don't know, it'll elevate me in what I do, and maybe that'll be my job. But it doesn't make sense for me. Is this enough for Greenie? Good night and happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, Barry. What? Barry, your butt is facing me. Barry, you don't like me no more? Blackberry. Oh, she hates me now. She's turned away. Yeah, the point is I don't want to try and put a square peg into a round hole. Me opening a store in Los Angeles is me taking a square peg and putting it into a round hole. I don't live in Los Angeles. I don't know the area. I don't have a reputation there. And I'm going to be putting money I don't have into opening a store that I'm not there to staff. That's square peg, round hole. Videos that educate other people on how to do their job properly, that's round peg into round hole. Stephen Cole says expand. Easier said than done. That's the thing. Like, there are people out there that are really good at raising capital. They're really good at raising capital with very little experience or track record in business. They could walk into a bank, or they could walk into some investor's office or venture capital firm, and they could walk away with a few $100,000 or a few $1,000,000. But they suck at board repair. Let them do the opening multiple stores across the country. I suck at doing that, but what I'm really good at is looking at something that's seemingly very complicated and explaining it in a manner where a middle manager of a pizza shop can go, wow, this actually seems like something I can do. I'm going to try it, and wow, look, I'm successful at it. I can open a successful recycling company and reverse logistics firm after just a few months of watching this stuff. So what I'd rather do is do the part that I'm good at and let somebody else do the part that they're good at. And if somebody else does the part that they're good at while I do the part that I'm good at, then everybody will be better off. Not just them, me. The customer will be better off, I'll be better off, they'll be better off. Hacked out a business card at the Apple Store for a 2017 MacBook Pro 15 with flickering screen. Apple said $1,300 to fix. They did a previous repair. Apple didn't secure the display cable either. Genius. Depressing. Yeah. I think one of the things that I've learned at the age when I reached the age of 30, not even 30, I think that what I learned when I reached about 27 or 28, stop trying to put the square peg in the round hole. Do what you're good at and run with it. If society is a certain way, or if your skill set is a certain way, or your life is a certain way, just Try and take advantage of what it is you're good at or where your place in the world is rather than argue with it. Can you offer paid course for other people who want to learn? I used to, but I ran out of space and it also drove me insane. So I stopped. But I will in the new store because that's going to be a necessary part of funding the new place. Bad camera angle, you look fat. Incorrect. Accurate camera angle. I am fat. Here, how about this? All right, we're going to do the Instagram bodybuilder influencer live stream camera angle. Happy? If you want something to jerk off to, go to Pornhub. This is the wrong place. Good morning from Finland. I enjoy your Apple rants and repair videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Fred.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, I think it's just doing what you're good at. I used to really be aggravated by the fact that I was decent at figuring out and fixing stupid problems, but I was not good at understanding things from a musician's perspective. But I really wanted to record music. And I banged my head against the wall trying to make money recording music. And once I decided, you know what, I'll just solve the problems other people don't want to solve that I'm good at solving, I got to a point where I was an assistant technician at the best studio in the world. And then after that, I went on to be a freelance technician where I was charging $75 an hour to show up at client sites and fix broken studio gear. You may think $75 an hour sucks, but when you're 19 years old and don't have a college diploma, and it's 2008 and there's a financial crash about to happen, that's pretty damn good. And then I managed to spin it off into this type of business. And it's the same thing, I think, when it comes to when people say, why don't you expand and open 20 other locations? Let some Adam Newman type that's good at walking into an institution and going, hi, I have an unproven business model, and I'm not that smart. Would you like to give me $8 billion, please, so that I can waste it on this shit that's not proven? Well, let the person that's able to do that do their opening of stores, and I'll do what I'm good at, which is, making videos that teach people how to do shit and running my one store. Just want to tell all 782 people that I'm a loser. Doug's Computer Hardware. Why are you a loser? Don't say that about yourself. That's not very nice. Stop being mean to my viewers, you fucking prick. Don't be mean to my viewers. Don't call yourself a loser. But, yeah, I will do what I'm good at and let somebody else do that part. There are many people in this world. There are many people that could walk into any one of these institutions and they could just go, hi. Hi. I was born with a silver spoon, and my life had no problems, which is why I was born with an 850 credit score. Would you like to give me a few $1 billion? Come on. Come on. No, you haven't heard about my business model. You know what it is? I take real estate and I release it at a really small markup with kombucha. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Give me $8 billion. This is the high reaction channel. I read it. It's just there's not much in there that's really any good. 90% of it is people asking if it's real. It's either, oh, is this real or is this live or is this not live? Or people saying you don't read it. So it's there. I'm reading it. I see you. 100 millisecond lag time to read that. But why do you have so many chairs? I have this chair. All right, time to go. I'm in Rwanda teaching at a multimedia school. We have 25 2011 iMacs. That's 25 fucked iMacs. Two 2012 MacBook Pro. No, 3 2012 all fucked. You know somebody would come down and fix if we paid for flight accommodation? No, because the 2011 ones, that's buy. And the 2012, 3 of them, you should probably mail them. Paying for the flight and all that's going to cost more money. All right, time for me to go. I have to wake up early because there's a contractor that's claimed he was going to be there at the new place to talk about quotes for the new floor. Most likely, he's probably sleeping until 1 or 2 o'clock and then jerking off before he takes a shower. And I'm going to call him to interrupt him jerking off to say, hey, you said you were going to be here to help give me a quote on my floor. Remember, he's going, whoops. Because that's what happens every single time. I hope that's not what happens tomorrow. We'll see. But thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Thank you for asking your questions. Thank you for watching, learning, helping fix products that otherwise would go into a landfill or even worse, Apple's pockets via their repair programs. And as always, I hope you learned something. See you in the next video. Bye.
Hello, welcome.
Rubber mustache.